So I'd see this little kid with this scraggly long hair, and he'd come up to me, and I'd be playing catch, and he'd say, I'm going to be a professional baseball player. I said, really? He says, no doubt about it. That's what I'm going to do. And this kid had his sights set on what he wanted to be, and he didn't stray from that.
He had a big impact on me as a human being, not so much as the athlete that everybody talks about. But he was a good man, and we're here to honor him, and let's have fun.
Paul had the best arm I've ever seen. I had a lousy arm. I've never seen an arm stronger than his.
Yeah, Baseball America voted on all the positions, and they vote like who has the strongest arm, who the fastest runner is. And Paul List was voted as having the strongest arm in the Carolina League. In fact, the Pirates say he has the strongest arm in the Pirate organization.
I'd never seen anyone throw the ball harder than me, except two guys. One guy that played for our opposing team, and Paul List.
He was the sweetest guy. Never had a big head, very humble, and just so down to earth, and always could have a nice conversation with Paul. He was a fantastic, loving guy, and we think about him a lot. And it's great to be out here with all these guys to renew friendships and to see old faces, and it's all because of Paul and our memory of him. So here's to Paul, and we miss him, but we remember him fondly.
It's funny because when I was on the varsity baseball team my senior year, didn't play much and stuff, and Paul, who was the star of the team, was always looking out for me because he remembered sort of my glory days back from senior league, and I always just remember that he always had my back and just was a great guy, and now it's my chance to sort of repay and have his back now, being here.
I remember Paul being happiest on the baseball field, so it's fitting that we're here playing a game on his behalf today, and he's a guy that's missed a great deal.
He came into San Diego with Hawaii, and since he was the right fielder and at San Diego State there was something called Ragger's Rail, it was their personal mission to heckle the right fielder. So for 3 days Paul went out with a smile on his face and took grief from the fans at San Diego State. And because his name was List, they decided that his name was Shit List. But every time they said that, he'd just turn around and flex his muscles or do something like wiggle his butt, but would never be intimidated or put off. He always looked at him with a smile on his face. And even in one of those games, he showed off that arm that probably is only rivaled by Raul Mondesi or, I don't know, Reggie Smith. I mean, he went into the right field corner, and from the foul pole, he threw a one-hopper to third base and got a guy at third. And they didn't really talk too much about Shit List after that.
And I knew Paul from back in Hawaii, and Paul was an amazing guy. I mean, unbelievable friend. So glad to be part of this, and I know Paul's watching. And anyway, but it was we had a nice little run. I wish it could have been longer.
Best recollection of Paul, that big Cheshire Cat smile of his, lights up the room, greets you with a hearty hello and a genuine heart.
I'll never forget Paul's smile. He always had a big smile. And the one thing I actually do remember about Paul is when he was stepping to the batter's box to hit, he always was smiling at the pitcher. And I'm thinking to myself, man, he's going to get drilled. And he's going to get drilled. And I remember one time he got hit in the head, and then he looked out at the guy and he was smiling.
It's just his energy when you're around him. If you're on a bad day, Paul knew how to make your day better. Just his face and his smile, that's all you needed to see.
And just that smile of yours, and just, hey kid, what's happening? And just, you always had a great spirit, and you're never forgotten.
We're trying to carry on the spirit and playing a little softball. It used to be baseball.
One great memory of Paul was over at Toluca Senior League, and I don't remember what happened. He had some kind of injury, bad arm, and he came up to bat. Everybody's like, what's he doing out there? He's gonna hit anyway. And typical Paul fashion, one hand, smash the line drive, base hit.
It was great playing with him, learned a lot, got to see him grow, coming from JV up into varsity. Had a hell of an arm. And it was really great to hear that he made it up into the minors, and I was always rooting for him once he got up there.
So he was wearing a Major League uniform on the first day of Coors Field, and I was there working as a reporter and got to interview him on the field at Coors Field on opening day, the first day in the history of the stadium.
Tell me, this is your first big league ballpark and your first chance to play in a big league ballpark, correct me if I'm wrong. You got to be thrilled about that, especially since it's the first game ever in this place.
Yeah, it is. It's just it's an honor, a great honor to come here and play in a brand new stadium. I've never, like you said, I've never played in a big league stadium, so this is a first for me, and I'm excited.
So then in the second game in that series, he went in as a pinch hitter and got a hit, and then scored the tying run in the 9th inning in a rally where the Rockies came back to beat the Yankees. It was great to see in person those great days in Denver in '95.
Well, we haven't done this in 7 years, and Paul was my best friend, and I'm glad we can get everyone together and do this again.